This is Hunter Way at the Athletes Lounge podcast. I'm here with my guest.
My name's Brock Stone, head girls basketball coach at Reitz High School here in Evansville.
So, Coach, just getting into it, what's your, I guess, what's your been your basketball experience? What's led you to this point?
Yeah, so I played 4 years at Henderson County High School in Kentucky. From there, at Henderson, I was a 1,000-point scorer. I think I finished in the top 20 when it was all said and done. From there, my basketball journey took me to Robinson, Illinois, small town Robinson, Illinois. Um, and I played 1 year there, kind of got hurt in the middle of my first year. And my goal was always kind of go back home and start coaching. So after the first year, I just felt that, it was kind of time to go back home and get into the coaching thing of it. I spent 2 seasons in Henderson at one of the middle schools, South Middle School, as 1 year as an assistant coach of the 8th grade program, and then the next year, head coach of the 7th grade program. From there, I spent 7 years at Henderson County High School on staff. From every job you can think of, from unpaid assistant to volunteer assistant, head freshman coach, head JV coach. Ended my last 2 years there as the associate head coach that kind of was in charge of all defensive philosophies and different things like that. From there, I spent 3 years at Webster County High School, coaching the girls down in Dixon, Kentucky. We had some really good years there. Last year, I spent a year as an assistant coach at Union County High School in Morganfield, Kentucky, kind of running their defense and different things down that way.
So you mentioned that you knew you wanted to get into coaching when you're in college. At what age did you know that you wanted to get into coaching basketball?
Yeah, it's kind of a funny story. People would tell you, when I was kind of 9 and 10 years old, I was asking for dry erase boards for Christmas and different stuff like that. My brother was a little older than me, probably one of my biggest mentors. So he was playing along that time, and I just kind of, I don't know, it's kind of a weird thing. Got the knack for wanting to coach, wanting to be around players, wanting to just fell in love with basketball in my younger years, kind of watching my brother grow up playing the game.
So, you mentioned all those different stops you've had along the way. Has any stop you think helped you the most in, I guess, your evolution as a coach, or that have they all been sorry about that. Have they all been useful?
Yeah, I think they've all been useful. I would say my first shot to get on a high school staff when I joined Henderson staff, boys staff, that's kind of got my wheels turning a lot more into the head coaching space. Kind of when I got on staff with there. My brother was associate head coach there. One of his best friends growing up was our head coach, Tyler Smithart. So, and they trusted me with a lot of stuff. So as they started to trust me with more and more stuff, I think my eyes got bigger. I start to look around and just try to find different opportunities to kind of expand my coaching knowledge, my coaching connections. So it kind of took off when I first joined Henderson's boys staff.
So you talked about you did some defensive stuff before. Is there any, I guess, both offense and defense, is there any philosophy you like to apply the most? I guess, how do you like to play defense and offense? I guess, what's your system like?
Yeah, so defensively, we're kind of a mixture. We'll play some man, we'll play some matchup zone, different things like that. But the main thing that we want to do is we want to get after people. We want to have people in gaps when the ball's getting driven into gaps and different things like that. We'll like to press people off makes and kind of do some. Defensively, we kind of do some unorthodox stuff on the defensive end. Some stuff that I've just kind of, as you go through your journey of coaching, you just kind of try to find something that's unique to you. I kind of spent a lot of time kind of watching other coaches outside of the coaches that I worked for, and just kind of took bits and pieces from different people and kind of put it into our own philosophy. Um, Offense, we want to have space, share the ball. We talk about a lot giving up a good shot to get a great shot. I think that is when you're willing to give up a good shot to get your teammate a great shot. I think that just goes a long way with your teammates that know that you're in this thing together, and nobody's trying to kind of do this on their own.
So you've coached or been in parts of coaching both boys and girls, right?
Yes, yes,
Is
yes.
there any big difference you've noticed, or any difference in how you coach them as opposed boys to girls?
Yeah, I think well, I'll say I probably enjoy coaching girls a little bit more. Girls in girls basketball, it's all about kind of teaching the game, um, getting your kids in the right spot so that they have a chance to be successful. And you've almost got a shot every night that you step on the floor as a girls coach, as long as you've got a team of a couple key pieces. Well, and on the other side of boys basketball, it's just you can do everything right, but you can go up against somebody that's way more athletic than you, that's faster than you. And, athleticism really comes in play on the boys' side. And, on the girls' side, it's really, you're doing a lot of planning. You're trying to put your kids in the best situation and then let their athleticism take over. I think in boys' basketball, athleticism kind of takes over first, and then you're kind of coming through the other stuff at the end of that.
So you've had a chance to look at your team. You mentioned today was media day. The have you already kind of formed? I'm sure you have how you want to play this year, like with the pieces you have.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think we I got the job. I want to say early May. So we have kind of put together through our summer games, through our first week and a half so of practice so far this year, of how we want to play. And we talk a lot about defend, rebound, and run. That's kind of who we want to be. We want to guard you. We want to make sure we secure the rebound, and then we kind of want to get off to the races and see how many easy buckets we can get. It's a little. We're not there yet in half court wise. And we don't have to be ready yet in half court, but you know. So as we get better in half court offense over the season, that's something we probably want to hang our hat on. But right now, we kind of want to get out and run, find as many easy baskets as we can get. And then defensively, we just want to, we want to make it hard on you. We want to make you feel us all night long on the defensive end.
Is there any set goals you have for the season? Any win mark you want to hit? Any round and sectional you want to hit, or are you coming into this completely open as a open book pretty much, or what your expectations are?
Yeah, I mean, the main thing is I want the girls to be the best version of themselves. If we can be the best version of ourselves, I think a lot of that takes care of itself. At the end of the day, like we want to win too, though. So, we want to be we want to be one of them teams coming to the end of the year that people think have a legit chance to win our sectional. So, and I think we have some pieces in place where when it's all said and done, coming to the end of the year, that we could be sitting right there with an opportunity to play to really compete in a sectional tournament. So everything we're kind of doing is just we're trying to trust the process. And I know that's so cliche. Everybody says trust the process, but we're just trying to build this thing day by day. And we know as coaches and we know as players, if we build this the right way, come sectional time, we'll be right there in the hunt.
Is there any Was your team already pretty well assembled, or did you have to do some recruiting and walk in the hallways to try to get players in there? Or was the team already pretty much put together?
Yeah, the team was pretty much put together. There was only one senior on the team last year, so I think the biggest thing for me coming in was just kind of selling my vision to some of the girls to anytime a coach leaves, it's kind of you're thinking you're thinking a million things in your head when somebody else gets that job. So for me, it's just kind of just coming in and letting the girls know that we're gonna play fun brand of basketball. We're gonna have a lot of fun, but at the same time, when we walk in between the lines, we're really gonna get after it and different things like that. So we have actually we've actually got a pretty big program this year. We've got 23 girls total in the program. So it's nice to have them numbers. A little bit more work for us as a coaching staff, making sure that everybody's kind of getting quality reps. Everybody's getting better every single day with the numbers. But I think we've done a good job of it so far.
So it is JV and varsity, right?
Yes, we do have a JV and varsity program.
So do you try to keep what you're doing consistent for JV and varsity?
Yeah. For the most part, there's some things that our varsity girls are ahead on. But for the most part, like we want to keep everything. As I put some years and get some time in here at Reitz, we kind of want to be the same way from our varsity all the way down into our sixth grade cub, just doing the same thing, and so them girls can keep growing every single year. So when they walk into their first varsity practice, it's not a shell shock or anything like that. So yeah, we try to keep a lot of it the same. Obviously, varsity is going to be a little bit more ahead of some things, and that's fine. And I tell our JV girls a lot. You're just not ready yet. Not that you won't ever be ready, but you're just not there yet. So it's more of we do a lot of teaching on the JV end and just kind of prepping them of all the different steps that come with being a varsity basketball player when they get there.
So how is your team looking height wise this year? Do you have I'm always curious with this. How big's your team?
So we'll start Khalees Mitchell in the middle. She's 6'5", and then
That's a good start.
yeah, and we'll start Kendall Kaiser. She's kind of a tweener between the wing, and she's better on the wing fours right now, but we can put her down on the block some. But she's 6 foot. She'll handle it a lot fours. Our point guard's Bailey Haight. She's around 5'10". So them three pieces right there, that gives you some size and some length to play with.
Helps your defensive scheme.
Yeah. It helps us get a lot of hands on balls and be really active.
So is there any you mentioned you want to get out running in transition. Was there any worry when you first got there, maybe because some of this, sometimes size equals more slowness? Was there a little bit of worry that you wouldn't be able to be as quick as you wanted?
Yeah, I think there was a little bit of worry, and mainly the worry was going into summer games. We didn't have a lot of time to really get a system in and play. So once you play them summer games, I mean, we didn't score the ball a lot in transition in the summer, so you kind of worry. Can the girls fit that mode of what you want to be? And I think the girls have really bought in. We spent a lot of time in our conditioning program in the off season getting ready to defend, making sure that we're able to run in transition and different things like that. So I think at first it was a big concern of us. We thought we were going to have to kind of walk the ball up the court every time and call a set. But I think that's one thing we've really gotten better at in this first week and a half of practice.
So you mentioned that, defense is kind of like I guess maybe your main skill you look at. Is there any other skill you value at a premium? Is it shooting? Is it the ability to finish? Is it ball handling? What is your, I guess, other skills that you look at, I guess, the most?
Yeah, I mean, I would say, toughness and mental toughness. How tough can you be? When things aren't going your way, are you willing to put your body on the line so the team can win at the end of the day and not worry about yourself? Are you mentally tough enough to go through long droughts of us not scoring the basketball, or are you mentally tough to, if we give up 3 or 4 in a row, do we check out and say this just isn't our night, or do we kind of fight through some adversity? And I would say a lot of our conditioning stuff was kind of geared towards mental toughness, fighting through something when you're tired and you don't think you can go anymore. Is there something else you can get to? And we spent a lot of time in the off season in the weight room just trying to develop that that physical strength. In our conference, in our sectional, there's physical teams that are going to try to push you around, and we just don't want to be a team that gets pushed around.
So you mentioned your coaching staff earlier. How many, if any, of your coaching staff was returning from last year?
So we have two that are coming back from our coaching staff last year that was here at Reitz, Keenan Haight and Haley Ruckman. So and that they and when you go into a new place, you kind of you want somebody to kind of stay on just so that it's easier for you to kind of get in with the girls and do some stuff. So yeah, that they've been really good for us. They've kind of already created that bond with the girls in the years past. So it's been really easy for me to kind of use them to kind of figure out some girls. Especially in the summer when we wasn't spending a lot of time on the practice court, we're just going out and playing games every night. This girl you can get on to, this girl you might have to call her over and put your arm around her and have that conversation with her. So yeah, they were very beneficial to me when I came in.
Were there any not necessarily drills, were there any skills that you work on you think the most during practice?
Yeah, I mean, we shoot the ball every day. I mean, we shoot the ball every day for 20 minutes. We kind of designate that time where we're and as a coach, it's hard sometimes, especially over in Kentucky. I'm kind of used to, and I spent my time coaching in Kentucky. There's a 6-week preseason, so you got 6 weeks to get ready for the season. You come over here to Indiana, you've got 2 weeks to get ready for a season. So it's been kind of tough on me to give up 20 minutes of practice time, but I think you have to do that if you want to become a good shooting team. You have to put girls in the situation to make sure they get shots up every day.
When you got there, I'm sure you had what you wanted to do in mind. Uh, was there any I guess adjustment period to looking at who you had and then deciding you want how you wanted to play, or is the way you wanted to play already set when you got there?
Yeah, so I've watched Wright's girls basketball program play for some years. When I was at Webster, we would play them. We would play them a couple of times in the summer. So when the job kind of came open, I knew what kind of pieces they had. So as I was kind of waiting for the interview process and waiting to get named the head coach, I went through a lot of different scenarios of how we want to play. And as a coach, you go through multiple scenarios. So some of the scenarios were balled up and threw away. But some of the stuff that we really wanted to do and I thought we could be really good at is things that we're going to hang our hat on this year.
Because you mentioned how big, how much size you have, and that for sure helps with the rebounding. Was there any, I guess, fear that maybe the shooting wouldn't be as good? This because sometimes shooting equals less
Yeah,
height, or height
yeah,
equals less shooting.
yeah. I mean, and I wouldn't say we're there yet on the shooting part of it. It's still kind of a work in progress. I would say that's probably our biggest thing that we've really got to kind of get better at is making open shots, and also just being willing to take open shots. We've got some girls that are our girls are making good plays and getting kickouts to them, and they're kind of little hesitant. So just getting girls to have that confidence that you can step up and make shots. So yeah, it's still kind of a concern for our coaching staff going into the year how well we're going to shoot the ball. So that's one thing we're really, really concentrating on, trying to get a lot of shots up every day. Shooting's one of the things, muscle memory. If you put shots up every day, you got a chance to become a good shooter. If you're just hoping you're going to become a good shooter, then it's probably not going to happen.
Were there any returning girls that originally, and you don't have to name them if you don't want, but originally struggled with what you want to implement and then have kind of picked it up as you've gone?
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah, I think so. I think they were kind of like I kind of said earlier. We play defense kind of unorthodox. We do some different things, some things that aren't, you know, for say the old school way of having to play defense. So I think there was kind of some some unsureness of will this work? Is this the right thing? Is this how we should be playing defense? And then as the summer games went on, as we got into practice last week and this week, there's been some girls that have really, really bought into what we're trying to do defensively and how we're trying to play. So I'm really excited about that.
Are you well here? I'm sure you are looking forward to the opener. Are do you think you're ready for the opener, or do you think or do you think you need more or time to be game
Yeah,
ready?
I'm. I don't think any coach will ever say that they're ready for it. So yeah, no, I wouldn't think we're ready for it just yet. But we're taking steps close to that. But I will say I think we're ready to see another opponent, to see where we stand and to see what we really, really need to work on, and see what pieces that we can kind of plug and play to really get this thing moving forward.
You're ready for live action play instead
Right,
of
right. Somebody that doesn't. We're ready for somebody that doesn't know our offense, that doesn't know our defense, that are not just. I think some of our varsity girls get frustrated at times that we're running stuff and our JV girls are standing there waiting for them. And for me, it's not a bad thing. It's a credit to our JV girls too, because that means they're learning the system. That means they're learning stuff. So I think we're just ready to to cut and somebody not be waiting there for us when we cut because they know we're coming there.
yeah. It's the when the defense knows the play, it's kind of
It's really hard. Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's going to be teams that are going to scout you and stuff, but I don't think anybody knows your stuff like the JV team knows your stuff.
So you mentioned, I'm sure you have terminology, you use for different things. Are you going to try to keep that consistent down, in the junior high level? Are you going to try to keep the terminology the same coming up?
Yeah. We want to kind of keep our terminology the same all the way through. So from high school all the way down. Um, One of my assistants, Keenan Hape, he'll be coaching kind of our seventh grade Cub. So he'll get to be in there with them. I'm going to take on a really big role with our eighth grade Cub and feeder system. So and we kind of spent 5 weeks in the fall kind of working out with our sixth, seventh, and eighth graders every Sunday, and it was ran by our high school coaches. So we're just trying to put pieces together that when it's time to step into the high school program, that it's just not it's just not all new to you, that you're able to succeed because you understand the terminology, you understand the drills that we're calling out and different things like that.
Where do you think you were able to come up with, I guess, your kind of unique defensive scheme? Where do you think it kind of, I guess, you discovered it?
Yeah, well, so I wouldn't take all the credit in the world for it. I spent a lot of time. There's an assistant coach. Big shout out to Bradley Payne. There's an assistant coach at Davis County High School in Kentucky. They were kind of doing it for years. I was really intrigued about it. And I kind of just reached out to him, and I was just like, Coach, can we come over and watch practice and try to figure this thing out and kind of what you do. And credit to him over there at Davis and their head coach Neil Hayden. They let us, me and some coaches from Henderson when I was on the staff there. They let us come in and kind of pick their brain and kind of see how we wanted to fit it into our system. So yeah, Bradley was a big help to me defensively wise. It's kind of funny because when I was over in Kentucky, we used to play his wife twice a year. She was the head coach at Apollo. She's now at Davis County, but he'd always send me a text, "Don't be playing that stuff against my wife tonight." And so it was just always kind of funny. So yeah, they really helped us out, and it's kind of one of them things too where it takes some guts, you know what I mean, to play defense that way, and I'm a huge Louisville Cardinal basketball fan. Probably not so much recently, but in the Patino era, and I kind of was intrigued by Patino's matchup zone and different stuff like that. And so then when you see another high school doing it that's really close to you, that kind of has the open door policy that'll let you come in and watch and pick their brains about it. it was really something that we really wanted to do.
That national title team was fun.
Yeah, that was one of my that was one of my favorite teams, and that's kind of the first that year and the year before is when my brain really started turning towards matchup zone defenses, just because it's unique, and you got to spend time to teach it. And on the other side of that, the teams going against you, they've got to spend some time on how they want to play against it and decide what they want to do.
Yeah, the that Cardinals team was fun. It still counts. That championship still
Yeah, it's
counts.
still 2013. We're still repping it hard.
Yeah, I'm not a Louisville guy, but it's the vacation stuff so dumb. It's like
Right, right.
especially when everyone's doing the exact same thing.
Exact same thing. Yeah. So
It's just who they want to catch that year,
right there you go. There you go. There you go.
or who your coach is and who they want to
Yeah,
go
right,
after.
right. That's a lot. That matters a lot too. Just kind of like Jim Harbaugh with Michigan right now.
Yeah.
They're doing all kind of crazy stuff figuring that out.
Well, I'm an SMU guy, so when you have Larry Brown as your coach for a few years, you're gonna
Yeah.
get
Okay. There you go. There you go.
that's
There you
another one.
go. Yeah.
They'll come after you
They're
eventually.
coming after you on that.
The so you were really good at Henderson. We mentioned how good you were when you were a player at Henderson. How'd you score most of your buckets?
Yeah. So I was kind of I was the kind of guy that played. I could kind of play 1 through 5, and our high school coach at the time kind of utilized me in that situation a lot. So I wasn't a great shooter, but our high school coach would let me take one a game just to give me some love. But most of it, our high school coach was we were an execution type of team. So we ran a lot of good stuff, and I scored a lot on the blocks or a lot of catching the ball and really trying to get downhill.
So when you, I guess, how did you get in we know how you got into coaching, but how did you get on someone's coaching staff? Did you just reach out to someone, or did you?
Yeah, so one of my mentors back in Henderson, Clay Bowen, he kind of coached me growing up when I was in middle school. Then he was still coaching kind of when I came home from Lincoln Trail, and he kind of knew that that's kind of what I wanted to do. So he was kind of running. He was running the boys. He was running the boys middle school program, and on the side he was running what we call Kentucky Hoop Stars, which was a travel ball program. So I was kind of his assistant in the school setting. Then he kind of turned me loose with my own team. I was 19 years old, going on 20. Getting ready to take on my first travel team. And then as he started to get out of it, he kind of turned his travel program over to me. I ran our travel program in Henderson for about 4 or 5 years, where we had teams from 4th grade all the way through high school playing. So and I think a lot of people in Henderson kind of knew that that's kind of what I wanted to do. My brother was on the high school staff when I played. My brother continued on the high school staff after I left. So it's kind of a family business and kind of what I knew I wanted to get into.
You mentioned around that 8, 9, 10 range is when you first knew you wanted to get into coaching. When did you first, I guess, discover basketball as like a thing that you were just interested in?
I would probably say around that age. I played younger than that, but I tell people I wasn't very good from 5 to 7 years old. And it kind of, but then when I was actually able to watch the guys that my brother grew up with and got to spend a lot of time going to their games, that's kind of when the bug hit of, that I really wanted to do this thing. So it was, and as a kid, you enjoy playing, I enjoy playing baseball, football, kind of all the other sports too. So I wouldn't say real love probably didn't start until that 5th or 6th grade year, when you start to figure out how good you are and what you can do.
There's always stuff as a coach you want to get better on. Is there anything right now for your team that you really want to get better on as a focus to get better on because you maybe feel like you're not ready there yet?
Yeah, I just, as a team, we just kind of the communication part of it, and to play the way that we want to play, there's got to be a lot of ownership from the girls, taking ownership of talking, of kind of figuring things out. there's not a right and there's not a wrong answer to everything that we do. So, just having the girls kind of take ownership of the program, take ownership of the defensive side of the ball, take ownership of what we're trying to do on offense, and really come to me with, hey, what do you think about this? And we might shoot it down as a coaching staff, but if they're coming to us with them suggestions and stuff, that tells me that they're locked into the program, that they're focused, that they're really trying to figure out how we can become a better team. So I think just the communication part of it, and then as far as coaching wise, we want to get better at we just really want to get better at taking something from the coach's office that we talk about as coaches onto the coaching floor and really be able to execute it and really kind of, that just shows the girls that we're on the same page when we're able to walk out of the coach's office united, come on the court and kind of get right to it, and no coach is standing around kind of looking what's next, what are we doing. They kind of see us united, and that kind of, and they feel like that we understand, we know what we're doing and what we're talking about too.
So that's really all I have prepared question wise. Is there anything you want to add? Anything you want to get out there?
No, it's not really. We're excited to be here. I'm excited to be on the West Side, coaching the girls basketball program. There's a lot of tradition on the hill. We're trying to start our own tradition. We kind of talk about a lot. Just our banners on the wall. There's not anything on the wall for girls basketball since 1981. So we're just trying to build in the right direction to try to, our football program is a tradition in its own. Our basketball program is a really good tradition. Our girls soccer program has been really good over the last couple of years. So we're just trying to find our space to kind of fit in with these other programs on the hill because the support's there here. There's not, if we need something, if we kind of want to make something happen, there's supports here. There's people that are going to try whatever they can to try to make it happen to give these girls the best experience possible. So we're trying to find a way to fit in over here on the hill.
So when's your opener?
So November 4th, we're at Vincent's Lincoln. So next week, our first scrimmage this Saturday against North Davies. So we're kind of excited because we get some teams are starting to play next week. So we'll get a scrimmage, and then we'll kind of get all week next week to kind of prepare and figure out and change some stuff up as we go into the home opener next Saturday, November 4th against Vincent's Lincoln.
Well, I've been Hunter Wade at the Athletes Lounge podcast. Thanks for coming on. And go on.
No, I appreciate you having us. Anytime we get to talk about Lady Panther basketball, like we try to take advantage of it and just we're really trying to just get the girls known, get the girls out there, get the program known. So yeah, we're always willing to chat and spread the gospel about Lady Panthers basketball.
Well, this has been Hunter Way at the Athletes Lounge podcast, and that's all I got. Hey guys, this is Hunter Way at the Athletes Lounge podcast. Please like, share, and subscribe where you can. Thanks.